Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel for another Flea Market Finds episode. This is stuff I picked at the outdoor flea market on September 29th. And let's dive right in. So first table that I checked was a guy who usually has a lot of tools, but not always machinist stuff. And he had these 4 parallel clamps. And you can see he had $3 a piece on these, but he gave me all 4 of them for 10. So nice little parallel clamps. They're all no name, generic looking ones by the looks of it. But that's okay. They were cheap enough. Then I put together this pile right here for about $40, and not sure how it exactly broke down. I know I paid $5 for this Nicholson USA file card. This is for cleaning files. This is a nice Greenfield tap wrench. This is a number 6. It's in excellent shape, actually. It does have some beat marks on it. It's kind of weird. Somebody must have been using this for something else, because it's got all these marks right here on the handle where it looks like somebody was tapping it, which nobody would be banging on a tap wrench like that while there was a tap in it, right? And this nice little cross test level, I think this is a Starrett. Yeah, it's a Starrett 136 cross test level. Both of the vials are intact, which is nice. It's in decent shape. And then this nice little file set. This is a Grobet. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It says Grobet USA, Carlstadt, New Jersey. These are pattern files, I believe. But I think I looked these up before, and I think these are actually imported Swiss files. But these little, some of these little pattern file sets are pretty darn pricey. So I figured I'm probably into this for 10, the tap wrench for 10. That's 20, 25, and then I probably paid 15 for the cross test. So like I said, $40 there. And then this roll of welding wire. It's a 30 thousandths thickness welding wire, made in the USA, Weldit brand wire. So I think this is better than Harbor Freight stuff. But I got this for $5. And it's not a huge roll, it's a 2-pound roll. So, might come in handy. I'm always on the lookout for deals on oil, lubricants, and stuff like that at the flea market. So I scored this bottle of rigid cutting oil for $2. It's about half full. So this is great for cutting threads. It's Rigid is the company that makes all the pipe threaders and everything, so it was probably like for that kind of threading on pipe and that, but it'll work just fine in the shop for any kind of threading or cutting. And then also from the same guy, he had this one lonely sealed bottle of Mobil 1 full synthetic oil, and it's a 0W40. I got this for $3, which if right now this is probably like $8 a quart in the store. Then I scored this for $25. It's definitely the buy of the day, and quite frankly, it may have been the buy of the month. What this is a Kendrick and Davis of Lebanon, New Hampshire staking tool set. This is a number 18, it looks like. Can't quite make it out. I think it's a number 18. The box lid, the glue has failed, so this needs to be glued back down. The way this is supposed to work is when you open the top here, and do the lock here, this whole thing hinges up like so. So what this is it's called a staking tool set. It's for driving in the little tiny pins and different parts for watchmakers. So you can see the condition is not great. There's a lot of corrosion on these little parts here. But what was great is all of these holes right here are actually for these staking tools. Okay, all different sizes and everything. For whatever reason, the guy made a separate box to hold them in. But this part right here alone is worth the, well worth the $25 investment. Because this part holds the staking tool, depending on which one you select, in perfect alignment. And then you've got an anvil with different sized holes in it that can be rotated. So we unlock this and it moves around. Chrome's actually in pretty good shape on this part. Just making sure there's nothing hidden inside there. So what I'm going to want to do with this is just clean up the outside of the box, re-glue the lid on, and put all of these staking tools in these holes. And this will probably go on eBay because it's pretty specialized. Then this tool is in here. I don't know if this belongs in here or not, but this is a Bull of a Watch Company tool of some type. I don't know what. I'll probably just throw that in. And then he also had this tool sitting there that he threw in for free, which my understanding is this is a type of tool for grabbing onto crowns, I think. So let's get these little fingers here. So I think there's supposed to be something on the end here that's missing that lets you hold on to this end, so you can unscrew this, push this forward. That allows these fingers to open up. You put that down over the crown, and then you tighten this. In case you're wondering, that's how many tools were in that box, enough to fill up this many holes. This is the only tool that looked different. It's got a knurled end on it, so I'm not quite sure what that's for. And it's got a little threaded area on the end there, so I kind of set that one aside. But I think that's going to make somebody a nice set. So got all that for $25, and then he threw in this. Stuffed inside that box when I first opened up took the lid off, was this mess. This is actually the accessories for a crystal press, and he even had the crystal press sitting there. So this is a Benrus, B-E-N-R-U-S crystal press. So you put the corresponding anvil on this side and the other fitting on the top here. Well, I stand corrected. This tool right here, I can find this tool listed on eBay in a case with a bunch of these type of parts, and it's described as a waterproof watch case opener and closer. In other words, I think it's for pushing the back. Waterproof watches, I guess, usually have an O-ring, so you have to push them closed. I think that's what this is. But these sure look like watch crystal parts for a watch crystal press. So I don't know. I think I'm going to just try and sell this all together and see what happens. Then I saw a guy who just had tables with just all kinds of hand tools just piled all over in a big mess, and you just had to dig through it. And he was basically saying that like everything, there was nothing on the table more than a couple of bucks. And I was just kind of fishing through to see if I could find a diamond in the rough, and I found these crimpers, and they actually are marked $2, and that's what he charged me for them, $2. And I just looked at them and I thought, boy, these are really kind of neat. I had a feeling they might be kind of expensive, and at one time they probably were. What these are crimpers for electrical connectors, but they're specifically they're unique to the aircraft industry. So these are AMP brand from what I found online, AMP. They actually say it right there, AMP. And they're model 4830. And this 22-16 I think means 22 gauge to 16 gauge wire maybe. Then it says 1-2 PIDG. I don't know what that means. I'm sure if I worked in the aircraft industry, I would probably be able to tell you exactly what that means. I do not. It's got these little pins that you can pop out and put into one of 3 different holes to change something, probably for the different size connectors that you would be crimping or different size wires. Right now, see, they're kind of locked, so you have to go past their max compression, I guess, or whatever, and that after it clicks, it releases, and now that's going to open up. So now it's ready for me to do another connector. So you would put you would put this around your crimp connector, and then this ratchet's closed around it, and I'm guessing that it's going to automatically crimp it to the exact correct specifications depending on which pin you have these depending on which hole you have these pins in, because you see you can only go so far and then it's going to release. So that's what I thought was kind of neat. These still appear to be selling on eBay for about $20, so I think the $2 was a good investment. And honestly, I'm wondering whether or not I can't just use it on, the crimp connectors I use all the time. for like automotive and stuff. The jaws at the end here have an odd shape to them, so I'm thinking probably a no on that. But the inner jaws here, the inner jaws look like they might be able to do something. Let's just for the heck of it, I'm going to grab one and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. Like this ring terminal connector right here is clearly just like too darn big to even sit in the jaws correctly. If I try and crimp this, it's going to probably just destroy it. That seems pretty devastating, but on the other hand, this small one looks like it does fit in there okay. Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to keep them around just for that little job, because I've got the small hand style ones that they work fine. All right, next up I got this Starrett inside micrometer set for $30. And it's a good size set. This is a 2 to 12 inch, I believe, and I believe all the rods are there. Even this little extension, which is a little 1/2 inch spacer that you can put in there and get you to 1/2 inch increments in between all of these other rod sizes. Oftentimes this is missing. Belongs right there. Even the wrenches. So, pretty happy with that. And from the same guy, I put together this little pile right here for $15, which included this Fisher edge finder, micro edge finder, this McGrath St. Paul pitch gauge set. It's a decent sized one. This interesting little drill bit index. It's chrome plated. I've never seen one like this before. It says made in the USA, no other maker's name on it. And it only holds 10 sizes, but I just thought that was kind of neat, and I kind of collect these, so figured, yep, gotta get that. This little dead center for a really small, I've actually got a really small Craftsman here that I was going to fix up, so this might fit that lathe. That's why I grabbed it. And then this little saw, which I thought was kind of cool. This is a manufacturer I'm not familiar with. So on this side, you can see it says the Always Sharp kitchen knife. And then on the back here, so it says Chaz AWOHR for the last name, which I guess would be War. And Chaz, I'm assuming, is short for Charles. Just like we get a lot of Chaz Parker vices up in this area, and they're Charles Parker vices from Rhode Island. But guess it's not that interesting a thing after all. Several of them on eBay right now, priced around $15, and it doesn't appear like any of them are selling. So, oh well. And I think originally there was some sort of a very, very fine tooth blade in here. This is like a standard hacksaw blade somebody stuck in here, and it looks like well, no, it actually fits, so I don't know. But I just thought it was kind of a cool design, so figure what the heck. And then that same gentleman had this Brown Sharpe micrometer, which I have so many micrometers now, I don't like to pay too much for them, but he had 20 on this, and he actually let it go for 10. And what I liked about this was this case is one of these old style cases, and it's clean as a whistle, as is the micrometer inside. It's got a little label residue, remainder of a label here, but it's a Brown & Sharpe 0 to 1, and it's got carbide faces. The lock works. I mean, it's a 1/10 micrometer. It's just in great shape. It'll make a really nice micrometer for somebody. Oh, one more thing about this micrometer I forgot to mention is that makes it interesting is that this is what's known as a Brown & Sharpe slant line micrometer. So I don't know if they ever patented this or not, but what's kind of cool about this micrometer, hopefully that's going to focus, but the lines actually have a little slant to them, which is great because then as you're sneaking up on the measurement, the line that corresponds to the number is still visible right up until you get to it, you know. You know, normally those lines are straight down on a micrometer. So it was kind of a neat idea. It's the kind of thing that at first glance you might not even notice it, but as luck would have it, this is the original box. And as you can see, it says slant line micrometer. Then from another guy that I know, he had these 3 boxes of carbide inserts. Normally I don't bother with old carbide inserts like this, obsolete ones. Typically I found, I kind of equate these to phonograph needles. They made thousands of different varieties over the years, and many of them have long since become obsolete and useless. And if you find them, the only thing they're really good for is carbide scrap. And you know, even though they are heavy, you got to put quite a few of them together before it's worthwhile making a trip to scrap them. Occasionally you'll come across a geometry that you might be able to use in some way. Maybe you can braze it onto a piece of tool steel and use it that way. These caught my eye because they are some sort of a grooving insert. Can't reach in very far, so you can't really use them for parting off very small things. That's about it. But as far as a grooving insert, could be interesting. Might actually have an old tool somewhere that would actually allow me to clamp down on this thing in some way. So anyways, these are made by apparently Cole Industries, a USA company that who knows if they're even around any longer. The part number is a TA0168 and then -T34. And these, even though their boxes are different, they have the same number. And then their PWX, which is the grade of carbide, which I'd have to look up to see what that is, if it's brittle or whatever. So the grade would determine whether or not they would be good for cast iron, or, you know, depending on the grade of carbide, they'll be good for different types of material. And so there's 15 of them total here. Might have been a complete waste, but took a chance. Then I found another nice big tap wrench. This looks a lot like the Greenfield that I just showed, but this one is a J.M. Carpenter. So J.M. Carpenter's got a different numbering system. So this is a number 1 in J.M. Carpenter. And you know, this is probably like about the size of a number 6 in Greenfield. So I get a kick out of these J.M. Carpenters. I had a few really rusted ones of these a little while back, and the way that you open and close the jaws is you turn this knurled sleeve right here. The handle doesn't rotate. So the way that the Greenfields work is the whole handle gets turned. So here's that Greenfield number 6, and you can see size-wise they're about the same, but with the Greenfield it's more like a traditional tap wrench design where the whole handle rotates. Then a dealer had a dollar table, and I spotted this pack right here on the dollar table, and it was $1 for these 4 cans, which are this is spark plug, contact, and chain clean. That's kind of an interesting combination there. Cleans your chains and cleans your contacts and your spark plug. Okay. Chain life and rust inhibiting penetrating oil and lubricant. And this last one is foaming hand cleaning. Okay, so I don't even know if any of these are going to spray, but I took a chance for $1. Must have been something they sold at a motorcycle shop. And then the other thing is from his dollar table was I scored this can of Tap Magic cutting fluid. It's at least half full, so for $1, why not? I did spill a little out just to make sure that that's actually what's still in here. It does look like Tapmatic fluid. It's not like somebody stuck old motor oil in this can. And he had this this quart of oil synthetic for $3, full synthetic. But then I found all of these bottles of oil right here for $2 a piece on his table. So I got all of these. These aren't synthetic, but they were $2 a piece. So it's all good motor oil, and actually one of them is even bar and chain oil, Poulon brand bar and chain oil. So can't beat that. So it came to $12 for this, and he knocked it down to 10 because I was taking all of them.